turning it around.
Hi, I'm Patricia. Before recorded history, humans knew singing as a deep source of power. Power to change, power to heal, power to be present with what is. Right here, right now, we are remembering the ancient gift of song, using modern tech to help us tap into resilience and capacity in chaotic, difficult times. Welcome to the 230th episode of A Breath of Song. I am so glad you chose to do this today, which is extra special because Grace Oedel is joining us for a songwriter conversation. Hi, Grace. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are doubly lucky because Rebecca Csuy is also joining us to help learn the three-part song that Grace brought for us to sing today.
Hello.
Because we're here to find more ways to sing songs that help us heal, adapt, grow, each of our voices is exactly what's needed right now. We all live in the same neighborhood, and we are recording in my basement studio in person. I rarely get to do these in person.
So nice.
In what is now called Burlington, Vermont, on the unceded homelands of the Abenaki, on sand plains between the Winooski River and Lake Champlain. All of our voices turning up as they are today. No matter what, we can feel the connection to our breath and vibration in our body. Let's find how good it can feel to sing. Last week, I shared Grace's song, I Will Not Stand Down. Today, Grace will be teaching us Great Turning from her friend, Joanna Colwell. We'll learn it slowly so it can settle inside you. You can begin to trust it as a resource. Let yourself drop into a state of flow. Then we get to enjoy a conversation with Grace, and we'll close out with the song again at the end. You'll always be able to find this episode with full show notes and artwork in the library of songs at abreathofsong.com. So let's start with a good yawn stretch. Oh, maybe roll your shoulders back. Stretch into your back. Whatever feels good, what your muscles want to be long. If they want to curl up. Oh. Find space to allow your body maybe a little extra release. A little widening of space between the molecules. You can shake if that's comfy. Maybe ooh. Ooh. Just some arcing ooey sounds. Ooh. And if you can flubber your lips. Oh, wow, we got great flubberers. We got that covered. Fabulous. I'm going to turn it over to you, Grace, to teach us the song.
Okay, well, shout out to beloved Joanna, who wrote this song about Joanna Macy, and we'll talk more about it in a little bit. It's a three-part song, and the first goes like this. We are turning, we're part of the great turning. We are turning, we're turning it around. So let's just take that in chunks.
Okay.
We are turning, we're part of a great turning.
We are turning,
we're part of a great turning. We are turning, we're turning it around. We are turning, we're turning it around. All together?
Yeah.
We are turning, we're part of a great turning. We are turning, we're turning it around. We are turning, we're part of a great turning. We are turning, we're turning it around.
I love that. I could sing that all morning.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's like a prayer and a promise. So then there's a second part, which layers over it, and it goes this way. It goes, we're all in it together. We are turning, we're turning it around. Truth be told, I normally teach it as the third part, but it can come second also. It doesn't really matter. So should I just teach it now?
Okay, sure.
Let's just keep it. Second part goes,
All right.
we're all in it together. We are turning, we're turning it around. That's the diva part.
Yay! I love a good diva part.
You want to try it with me?
Sure.
We're all in it together. Yes. We are turning, we're turning it around. We're all in it together. We are turning, we are turning it around.
That's such
Beautiful.
a cool rhythm. I'm turning. Like it's different. Yeah.
Yes, totally.
I like that. Should we try that together with the first part?
Yeah, let's do it.
We are turning, we're part of a great turning. We are turning, we are turning it around. We're
all in it
we're
together.
part of a great turning.
We are turning, we are turning it around.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
On that first part, should my turning be lining up with your turning, or is it different? Is it like I'm doing turning and you're doing turning?
You know what? This is oral tradition, baby. This is written down no place. So, Joanna, if you're listening, feel free to correct the record, but I have done it both ways. And
Okay.
people in a large group are going to do it both ways.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the
I
things...
just wanted to check with you.
Yes, turning. I don't know how it goes. It's
Okay.
either or.
Okay. Fabulous.
This is a very organic song.
Fabulous.
And the third part, which is really the second part, but again, like one of the things that I try to do in my song leading is get the bar very, very low. I am not a classically trained singer, nor are most of the people I sing with. It's people who want to sing to restore and want to sing at an action or want to sing to build up their courage. And often we are flexible and do things imperfectly. So the third part, which is really the second part, goes like this. I will not fear you. I will not harm you. I will not fear you. We are turning it around. I will not fear you. I will not harm you. I will not fear you. We are turning it around. I'm going to layer in a harmony. I will not fear you. I will not harm you. I will not fear you. We are turning it around.
Yeah.
So I just want to offer, like, we're going to sing it in 3 parts, but you can put harmonies on any of these pieces when you're singing a larger group, and that's one of the sounds that I'm often hearing when we're singing a big group.
So cool.
That's great. Cool. Should we put it all together?
Sure. Holy moly, not sure I can remember them all. Can we like sing them once through each of the parts and then layer them?
Totally.
Like we'll just start singing, but we'll just...
Let's do
Does that make
yours
sense?
and
Okay.
then yours and then mine to put it
so
down.
that meant the...
One, then the third one we taught, then the second.
Okay.
We are turning, we're part of the great turning. We are turning, we are turning it around. Second part. I will not fear you. I will not harm you. I will not fear you. We are turning it around. And we're all in it together. We are turning, we're turning it around.
We are turning, we're part of the great turning. We are turning, we are turning it around. We are turning,
I will not fear you.
We're part of the great turning. We are turning,
I will not fear you.
we are turning it around.
And
We are
all in it together.
We are turning, turning, we are turning it around.
And
we are turning it together. We're part of the great turning. We are turning, turning, we are turning it around. And we are turning, we're part of the great turning. We are turning, turning, we are turning it around. We are turning, turning, we're part of the great turning. We are turning, turning, we are turning it around. We are turning, turning, we're part of the great turning. We are turning, turning, we are turning it around.
Yay! Y'all sound amazing. That was great.
So much fun.
Love that one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca, are you willing to come back for the reprise?
I will come back for the reprise.
You are amazing.
See you
Thank
in a
you.
bit.
So, Grace, this song drops us right into Joanna Macy's world, right? Where the work that reconnects, where she describes the great turning. She says it is an essential shift toward a way of living and a political economy that serves and sustains life. Mm-hmm. Does that feel to you like an accurate or helpful description of right now, of this moment that we're in?
Mm-hmm. One of the metaphors that Macy used in a lot of her work is the metaphor of serving as a midwife or a doula. And she talks about how our time needs to hospice the systems that need to die while helping to birth the new systems. Mm-hmm. And that is a really, really helpful frame for me, because it means that we don't have to have all of the answers about what's coming. Like, we're not the baby that's being born. We're the doula supporting change. Mm. And I think about, like Octavia Butler says, kindness eases change and God is change. And thinking about how we can get more comfortable embracing there's so much change that's needed to hospice what needs to go and help birth what needs to come. And that can be our role. And that's something that I think practicing singing together also really helps, is like tapping into singing with a group and hearing parts come in and imagining new harmonies and layering over each other and like getting comfortable with the arc and the change that happens when we sing together is like a good practice for that work that we're out doing in the world too. So Joanna Macy is a huge, huge mentor to so many of the people I know and love and study with, and she passed away this summer in July, and it's an honor to get to sing this song that my friend Joanna brought down, caught, sang in her honor.
I love that you brought us a song by a friend. And so how do you and Joanna share songs? What happens?
Well, Joanna is a collaborator, a schemer, a person with whom, just a ride or die. We met doing organizing together. We were both Jews who wanted to organize together to stop the war in Palestine. And I hardly knew her when I invited her to come on a 150-mile march with me, where we were led by Faith for Black Lives, reverends and ministers, and we marched from Philly to DC, and we were singing the entire time. I mean, the entire walk. And so we really cut our teeth, like walking for justice and singing together. And then from there, it's just been a few years of a lot of sisterhood. And she is such an icon to me because she's just very open to the creative force. And so she's every day, I feel like she texts me in a voice memo and she's like, I think I caught a new song. What do you think of this? And she's been building up her own song circle too. So she comes and we co-lead, or she'll pop up in song circles I'm leading and just offer a song, and we'll back each other up and harmonize and play with new songs until they're more firmed up.
Fabulous. One of the things I love is that you're talking about leading song circles in a way that's different than people who maybe come out of a choral background into song circle leading, come from this idea of, oh, well, I have my choir and you have your choir, and these two groups are separate. And there's even in the choral world I dare to say there's a sense of competition between groups, like, well, if I have the good singers, then you don't get the good singers, because they come and rehearse with me and they can't be with you too. And there's almost in traditional choral world, there's kind of a scarcity mentality of you only get to sing in the best groups if you're the best singers, right? You really audition and you try to get into those groups. And if you, as a director, have the good singers, then you keep them and you don't let them go sing with anybody else because you don't want them. And there's one of the things that I've never liked about the choral world. I've never been comfortable with. And I love that what you're describing is a sense of, okay, we can have, and you and I are both song leaders in the same town, right? We can have more than one, and Maura Smiley lives close to us and does song leading, and there's space.
Totally.
For a lot of singing.
Totally. People are so hungry for it. And shout out to Mo. Maura Smiley also often comes to the song circles that we hold up here in Burlington, and she'll pop in and just say, oh, can I offer a song? And then she'll teach one and she'll harmonize on somebody else's. And we also try to make space for anyone in the group, anyone in the room, to stand up and lead a song. So we have last time we met, we had 250 people at our circle. Whoa. And we just say to anybody, like, if you want to try leading a song, we're a loving group. We want to hear you try. And part of what we're really trying to do is build a deeper bench of leaderful people who feel like they can stand up and lead a song, and that's not one leader who has to make something happen, which is also a great metaphor for activism and change work, is like getting more people comfortable with all of us have a role to play, all of us have a voice, all of us have a song idea. And I think singing is really a human act, like building community or eating or being in relationship to the earth or making art, that are things that capitalism has pushed us to think of as skills that should be sold rather than basic human forms of being. And so trying to help people like not feel like they have to have a perfect voice. I'm making so many mistakes. I'm teaching the song wrong. I'm getting the note wrong. I'm laughing at myself in the middle of thing. And I think that makes people feel a little more comfortable. And just last night, like, there's a Middlebury song, community sing, that's popped up since, because there's people down there who want one. So Joanna started hosting one at her yoga studio, and last night she got sick, and it was called for last night. And so she texted a couple of our other friends who come to community sing and think of themselves as not song leaders, nor, like, they would say, like, I always thought I didn't have a good voice until I started coming to community sing. So these two people were like, okay, we'll hold it. So Joanna went home and rested, and Lindsay and Zelda stepped forward and led the songs, and the community loved it and loved seeing different people step forward.
Fabulous.
And lead.
Fabulous. I love that idea I love the idea of being non-essential.
Totally. So relieving.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I wonder, so I'm going to just pivot right off into this awkward situation that we have, though, where song leaders, people who are writing songs and who are trying to devote their lives to this craft of creating song and bolstering community singing and things like that, and are looking for ways to pay their bills.
Totally.
Right? And the kind of the awkwardness and one of the things that I'm trying to do with A Breath of Song is give everybody a chance to say, how do I need reciprocity for the, what does reciprocity look like for this when you're sharing my song?
Totally.
Because we have people trying to make a living off of their music making, right?
Totally.
And how do you mix those two things? And I think we don't have to have the answers, I think, is one of the things, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think what you sort of talked about early about, building a better world by tuning into each other and really hearing each other, that some of it is like, who needs to be paid, who can do it for free. Yeah. Right now I have a job that pays me enough of a salary that my family and I are okay. And that means that I don't need to make extra money doing community work. I can just do the community work, and I don't see it either as like one or the other. And in my nonprofit work, we often sing when we gather, even though it's like the focus of the work is a little different. And I think having deep enough relationships to check in with each other and say, like, hey, can you do this? Heidi Wilson and I were leading songs together and doing a song leader training together. And Heidi's a person whose full-time work is making art, writing songs, teaching them, and mine is a volunteer role. And so we just talked about beforehand, like, who needed what. And, you know, Heidi decided, like, this is something I want to do just for the community and I don't need to be paid for. But, like, making sure I'm not assuming everybody is, you know, able to do that because, you know, paying the bills is real.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like anything, talking to each other about what's actually true and needed. And then, you know, if it ever came to a point where more of my life, like I decided I have so much song work to do. I need to do that for all my time. I would need to like re-explore how I got enough money to pay my bills.
It's so complicated.
Yeah.
So last week I shared your song, I Will Not Stand Down, right? And it was written specifically to expand a chant at protests, right? So can we talk a little bit about your experience with song leading at protests? And, you know, what works well? And is there a difference between songs that work well at a rally versus songs that work well at like a protection action?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm often a person who's like in protest spaces or in protection spaces and also like in more focused singing spaces. And I do think that there are different songs that people are ready for. So I went to Minneapolis. ICE is still in Minneapolis, but at a very intense time of ICE occupation. And I was learning song leading and doing some song leading with clergy and with other singing resistance members. And the singing resistance movement is really awesome to see rising all around the country. And we have now, you know, like built on the work we've been doing to build out singing resistance groups all around our state. And I know the Cairo Center with Songs in the Key of Resistance has been working for many years, and many other groups have been working on sort of like rebuilding movement for change work, rebuilding our commitment to songs that can help reinforce our values, calm us in moments of intense conflict, communicate our message clearly, and help people move and sing and breathe together. And I think that there are really different songs needed for the different moments of like, we're building a group and we're in a calm place and we can learn more complicated pieces, or like we're in a confrontation with the police. Like we were here 2 weeks ago in Vermont when ICE had surrounded a home that we knew there to be mothers and small children inside of who were our friends that we were connected to, and we were outside and we were really trying to make it such that the people inside stayed safe and that no guns were fired. And so singing was a really important tool because we were there almost 11 hours. And so like for the stamina, and thank God, like someone showed up and just had brought his guitar. And so the conditions that you're working in is like, you're with a bunch of people, some of whom are singers, many of whom are not. And they're there for all kinds of sort of orientations and ideologies, and we're making a community, like a pop-up community together. So back to that, like song is something that humans do together. It's a really good way of quickly being like, okay, all these people, we have never met each other, but someone is over here like delivering food so that we can all stay. Now someone's role needs to be like bringing some songs so that we can lock in. So during more calm parts of the day, there was time to teach songs, and we were there for a long time. So people were taking turns and people were requesting like the old anti-war songs and civil rights movement songs and union songs. And then there were also times when it became really, really tense, and it was important to have songs that could bridge a more confrontational energy or an angry energy of righteous anger for sure, but to help hold us together as a community and help keep us breathing and keep taking the temperature down, because we're trying to de-escalate a situation. So a song like I Will Not Stand Down is sort of like halfway in between a chant when the energy of the group is, and even a chant is unifying in a certain way. But a song where there's like a few parts and you're reminding yourself what you want to be thinking in those moments where you might feel really scared, or you might feel like you're questioning why you're there, like to kind of strengthen your resolve, or So I think like the art of choosing the right song. And there are certainly times when I've been at an action or something where like it's just people have to drop into silence. And that's all you can get to because it's way, way, way too tense or too focused or too whatever. And that can be really powerful too. It's helpful if you've sung together before and you're leading to say something like, you know, as ice is approaching the house, we're just gonna breathe together and hold calm. And if we've been already singing together, it's easier to get there.
You're imagining there's a trust that's built up.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Totally. Definitely. And I think one of the things that's really cool to watch about how it went down in Minneapolis was like neighborhood watches are often not places where any confrontation happens. You're just like patrolling your streets to see and keep each other safe. And it's sort of like caroling. You're walking around, you're staying warm, you're building community, it's beautiful. Those things are all to the good. And hopefully you never have a confrontation or like something. But those same people are the people turning and facing, you know, an armed ICE agent if it should appear. And I think that's one of the like lessons that we've learned with civil rights movement is like we have to establish what kind of culture we are before we're tested. And singing really, really helps that.
Yeah.
Develop and grow together.
Because I think I don't feel like I have a lot of skills for managing the huge anger and frustration. And then when you're in a group, but also alongside of that, when you're in a group with somebody who's yelling or really, really angry, for me, it brings up a lot of fear from past things, you know, and so it's really hard I find singing helps me settle that anxiety that I might feel because of the energy around me, because of being present with other people's anger.
Totally.
You know, how do you be present with somebody else's anger, even when you're angry at the same thing?
Yeah.
If their anger is bigger or more outwardly expressed.
Yeah. Totally.
Than yours.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I mean, I think that's true. I think singing helps us regulate. It helps others regulate. And I also think like part of what I have had to embrace in getting involved with broad coalition movement work is like everybody doesn't show up with the same philosophy that I have.
Right.
And we can embrace each other as an ecosystem and not expect everyone to have the exact same role. And when I can drop into like, what is my highest and best role here? What can I bring to the situation that no one else can? And then also like, okay, someone else is expressing through yelling how unrighteous this is. And that's not the path that feels the best to me, but I stand shoulder to shoulder with that energy and say like, yeah, this is all a spectrum of how we're all feeling. Some of us can be peaceful and, you know, we all look to the monks who drum and sing totally peacefully and walk because it's so amazing that they're able to hold that when they're facing, you know, they're trying to stop a war, they're trying to, you know, they're up against really intense forces. We all find it amazing because it's really, really hard.
And I think one of the things to notice is that they've been practicing this for years and years and years and years.
Totally.
Not that the practice that happens beforehand really helps embed that. And if we've just been doing a song circle for a year, it would make sense that our skills aren't yet at, you know, at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, you know, one of the things that we on the left sometimes really struggle with, and like I don't even really think about it as left, but as people with views that all people should be liberated and not under oppression and that we should take care of people and the planet over profit, we're better at critiquing each other. And one of the things that's really hard for me to watch is after an action, the commentary that comes out is like picking apart what the people protecting or the people showing up could have done differently or should have done differently when like we're all together facing armed agents of a completely illegal, racist, dehumanizing force, and we should focus our energy there rather than critiquing each other. But I think it really hinders our movement's success. Yeah. And it's something that we've been taught. Like in school, we teach our children how to critique minutia and pick things apart far more than we teach our children, like, how to really work together, how to collaborate, how to move from strength to strength and say, like, hey, I see that you were really, really fired up. Like, that was awesome. Do you want to be on the, like, protector edge next time or whatever, and build from what people are bringing.
How do we use this energy, this beautiful energy that we got there?
And it flows both ways. Like, I think it's taken a while for marches and actions to think, like, to really believe singing is a good organizing tool. Uh-huh. And I think, like, the singing resistance work that's come out of Minneapolis, coupled with their really fierce protector stuff for their neighbors, has really demonstrated to lots of organizers all over the country who are not inclined towards singing inherently, are to, like, really wrap their minds and see, oh, this is such an organizing tool. And it does amazing culture work, and it's beautiful. And so I see many, many more people. Like, I've been asked to lead just over the last 6 months, like at the last No Kings action, the first No Kings action, there was not a singing resistance, like, thread there, right? There was, like, a little music at the end, but there wasn't, like, group singing. There was no planned element of that. And now, like, all of those actions are reaching out, and they want everybody everywhere to be carrying it. So it's just an example of, like, awareness is growing about the role that we need. And I think it's important that we remember that, like, many movements for change and justice, all durable ones, had song and dance and fun as a part of the movement.
Yeah.
And so we need to build that back up. And it's really hard when you're looking at, like, so much atrocity to ground in that place of, like, we're moving from love and we're moving from joy if we can find it. But, like, even in the civil rights, Mississippi Freedom Summer in 1964, where people were getting murdered trying to build freedom schools and trying to register people to vote, there were also musicians there. There was parties gathering people together. There was very strong shared lineage of, like, spiritual discipline that was undergirding that work and making people want to stick around and, like, have a fun party together.
I saw a note just the other day coming from Indivisible saying, we're looking to encourage people to hold potlucks. Mm-hmm. And I thought, how beautiful to be. That felt so good to me. Like, there are ways that we can be, that the building of community, whether it's through potlucks or through singing or through dancing or through parties, whatever, neighborhood block popsicle parties, this building of community is crucial to the work that we're doing, because we can't just tear something down. We have to have something to replace it. We have to have something that where we're going, right? We have to live the way we want to live now.
At the organization where I'm executive director, it's a food and farming organization, and just like a month ago we put forward that we're going to support people with these micro grants to host, we're calling them long spoons dinners. Do you know the parable of the long spoon?
I do, but you should tell it. You should tell it.
So there's this story that is in a lot of different religious traditions. They all claim it. Basically, there's two of the same experience, which is there's a table laden with food, but everybody has these really, really long spoons attached to their hands, and they can't figure out, on one table, they can't figure out how to feed themselves. So they're struggling to feed themselves, and they're just remaining hungry. And in the other table, in the other room, they figure out that they can feed each other. And then they have this bountiful feast. And that's the difference between heaven and hell, or just the world that we have and the world that we long for. And so we were like, we'll for anybody who wants to host, we'll give you a couple $100 and you can go and buy, local and organic food from our farmers and host one of these, and just bring in. We ask that you invite a neighbor you've been meaning to talk with, or someone who lives on your block, but you would need translation for, like, have each other over, and just no ask other than that. Just trying to bring people together. And we had the forum open for like a day or two, and we had 200 applications immediately. We had to think, oh God, how much money are we going to have to come up with to fund this thing? So we're, doing, I don't know, something like 30 as the pilot round, and then we're going to do more.
It's so fabulous.
So much hunger for it.
So you told this story that came out of religious traditions. It seems to me like a good time to talk about the fact that you've done rabbinical training. You've gone through rabbinical training. Tell us why, and how does that connect with your singing life?
It's true. I did go to rabbinical school too, because I'm interested in traditions and technologies that have supported people in enduring, remaining hopeful, connecting to spirit through really, really hard times. And I was serving as the leader of this organization when we went through some really catastrophic climate events, flooding that devastated tons of people's whole business and home and life in some cases. And there was so much grief, like just overwhelming grief about like what we're going through, how we're going to keep going. And I was feeling like I need deeper practices and deeper lineage to be able to hold the people I need to hold through this. So I went to rabbinical school in that time, and
did it work?
I learned, and what I do, and then I now organize Kehila, which is a sacred community. It's like another thing that I do in community for my sort of broader community life. That is not my job in the sense of like how I get paid. But we have an experiment in collective leadership and what becomes possible when we do something together. And one of the things we were interested in is troubling the idea, sort of like with the community saying in the leadership, like only one person can talk to God, only one person can study the texts, only one person should lead the services, to like, what do we get up to if we all do it together and see what we really want and need as a community? And we've been meeting for about 2 years, and we have, we're having a Passover Seder in 1 week that 150 people are so far registered for. So there's like a lot of interest in building emergent community together. And there's a lot of singing that we do as a community. That's one of our core values, along with justice and doikait, which is a Yiddish phrase for here-ness, like celebrating Jewish diasporic life, and that we don't need to be anywhere other than where we are to root and thrive and to celebrate the places where we are. So this is work that is like, here in Vermont, as you know, everybody wears many, many hats. So these things are kind of hard to separate, because like the people who come to L'chaim stuff are also people who come to community sing, are also many of them members of NOFA. So like we're woven together in many, many ways here. In ways that I think in other places there might be like a little bit more separation between the different sides of us. But here it's all kind of on display. Anywhere you go, there you are. So
I'm just thinking to myself, so you're in the position of having governments that represent you in two different ways be maybe at odds with your convictions for justice and peace. I'm thinking of both Israel and the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to form a question around that, and I'm just thinking all I'm thinking to myself is, how hard? I'm sorry.
I think hopefully all of us feel that way. I feel like my political framework is really what I would call post-nationalist. I think that life thrives on all sides of borders. Borders are a relatively recent phenomenon we've made up. I don't believe that they enhance human thriving or planet thriving. I used to take students when I worked and lived in California to the Mexican-American border, and you could trace how many times it's changed, where it is and where governments say it is, and then they claim each other's territory. And I see that they become, they're basically lies we make up on maps and then defend with bombs, as my friend Professor Elise Morgenstein first says. And I think that if we're going to survive as a species, we need to let life flow where it needs to flow, like all migratory animals. Humans have moved. And also, how do we see all land as holy? Like, is the land of Palestine and Israel holy? Yes, for sure. It's holy for many, many, many people. Does that mean we should have a nation state that says who can and cannot access that land? Not in my view, right? Like, and the same with the United States. Like, is this land holy? For sure. Does that mean we should put up higher walls and not let anyone come here? Like, no. So that's a very long-term framework that I have to believe won't likely come to pass in my lifetime. But I believe that if humans are going to persist, we are going to have to figure out that we are all incredibly interdependent and we need to begin moving like an ecosystem if we're going to make it, which I think we can. And I think that song is a great way to build community across borders. There was actually just a singing action up on the Canadian-American border where people were singing to each other across the fake border.
I love when I came into singing, I came into it from the singing end, and it has brought me into resistance and action movement, and brought me to the teachings of Joanna Macy, and brought me to all these things that I was completely oblivious to as sort of a white middle-class person who thought things were chugging along just fine, and believed the history that I had been taught and all this sort of stuff. And what I have found is that through the singing, in some ways, it's brought me more in touch with my own self, which has made me recognize what wasn't working, and then sort of gently ushered me towards more and more of where I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm thinking to myself, I know that there will be some people who listen to this podcast who are like, Patricia, you got a radical on. And I'm thinking to myself, guilty. I did actually, because radical is this rooted word. It's like rooted in a truth that came before nations, that came before these lines, that came in a more whole way of being. And I think that these songs have been sort of inexorably leading me that direction.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So I'm curious for you, what is your earliest memory of singing? Like, has singing always been part of your life?
Oh, I love that question. Well, I have a mother who loves to sing. Shout out, Mom. And she was really good friends with Elise Witt, who was also a song leader. And they would have these sings in Elise's house, in my mom's house, and many of these women who were creatives in Atlanta. And we would just sing in a circle in the round. And Elise was a very precise teacher. And she would let me attend as a child, but she expected me to learn the songs and sing it with the adults. And that was wonderful. Like, that was a wonderful way to experience it. And I also had a wonderful school that really valued music, and an incredible chorus, choir director in school who took our singing seriously, expected a lot of us, and took us on choir trips. And when I was a teenager, Maura Smiley, who must have been like 15 minutes older than me, but she was somehow already teaching high school students. She's probably like 22, came and taught us where I sang. So I got like lots of great exposure. And then when I was in college, I sang in an a cappella group, which was also really wonderful because it enabled me to like travel the world while singing, which I never would have been able to afford on my own. And that was great to also have like this rooted practice of singing all through my college years, which were also like very unmooring. You're going to a new place. There, the culture was bizarre to me. And then I had this like very rigorous, but also like silly and sweet time to sing in a group. And I've never been a person who's like, I am a singer with a solo performance. I've never been like, I'm going to stand up alone and sing. It's just not the part that appeals to me. And it's taken to now to really be able to say like, oh, I've been singing my whole life. I've just always been community singing. I've always been singing as part of a group.
You did such a fabulous job on the diva part of this song, however. Just want to say.
Thank you. Well, someone has to be willing to get up there.
That's right. Exactly.
And that's something I have also like embraced both in singing and also in movement, is like, sometimes what people need is just someone who's willing to be like, okay, I will organize the thing. Yeah. Even though I don't have all the answers, you guys have all the answers. I'm hoping, because I don't know shit about shit. I don't know how the song goes, or I don't know what Joanna's song part sounds like, but like somebody in this room's gonna know it. And like, so it's like that dance between being willing to step forward when nobody else wants to, and also step back so that other people can lead.
So drilling back into that, do you remember like a really early song? Do you remember as a kid, like a song that you loved to sing?
Oh. Well, I remember lots of these rounds that Elise would teach that were like kind of hard. I remember one, let me see if I can. Nero's expedition up the Nile failed because the water hyacinths had clogged the river, denying Nero's vessels passage through the chute of Nubia. I think it might have been a Becky Reardon song. Maybe it was an Elise song. I don't know. Whoever song that is.
Whoa.
But it was like really jazzy and hard. And I was like 7 and she was like, you're going to learn this, okay? If you're in here, you're learning this. So I love.
So it is there. you know, at least if you were listening to this, she knows it. She knows it.
I do know it now. It is embedded in my memory, and there were many of those like tricky rounds, but similar. Like, and I remember she would have us walk in between each other, which I think is something you also do, where like you get tight in and then mixed together. And a lot of these song circles were like in non-fancy small homes in a small room where a lot of people were crowded in together. Which is a lovely, I think, part of maybe the template for me of this is not a fancy thing. Anyone can do this. Yeah. And then a lot about listening and hearing what it's like to hold your part, but also be able to hear other people's parts and celebrate them and hear how they all sound better together, which is sort of back to this, like, everybody has a different role in the ecosystem of activism work. Yeah. If we were all doing the exact same thing, how boring would that be? Yeah. And it wouldn't be that rich or layered or effective. And how do we, the practice of really hearing each other that you were sort of starting with and grounding us in is like pretty hard. I know I often want to just say what I want to say, and it's harder to really hear each other so that we can understand before we respond.
You are someone who is just so beautiful to me.
Oh. Back at you, Patricia.
You're powerful. You are sort of true to yourself. You're listening to yourself. You are willing to step up. You have 3 small children. You are navigating a long-term marriage, which is always navigating a big marriage. That's a relationship thing. That's hard. You've got a big job. You are on tons of board positions. You've got a lot of influence various places. You've been naming all these different community things that you're doing. Like, do you eat Wheaties?
The question is mutual, Patricia. I mean, look at you.
How do you do this?
How do any of us do this? That's how I feel. Everybody is holding so much. Yeah. In general and in their lives, everybody is holding so much.
So let me go really specific. What are the practices that you find help you the most right now?
Well, one thing I do is I drink caffeine all day, including in the form of soda, and I am ruggedly anti-fundamentalist. That is one thing that I say about myself, which I think is I work for an organic farming association and I drink diet soda. So I'm just I'm very imperfect. And I also say of like singing or organizing or like people are very good at what they do, and a lot of people are very perfectionist, and I have accepted a very low bar. I am just like, everyone needs to get their bar lower, I think.
I love that. I mean,
my house is constantly messy, and, my kids eat a lot of scrambled eggs for dinner, and I'm fine with that. And I have a supportive partner, and I also, shout out Jacob, who is a really equal partner in all the things you listed, and like does a different form of the work. You're not going to find him in the streets, but he's often like, yeah, you need to be there, and I'm happy to be attending the kiddos if that's the kind of thing. Right now he's with his kids. He works with a group that supports and works with immigrant teenagers, and they're going to Washington, D.C. this weekend. So he does his own awesome work. But I think the other truth is that, like, I have so many good people around me, like you, who can bring expertise into my life and help support the work too, so that it's our shared work. And like the Hayam Collective or NOFA or the organizing work that I do, none of these are like my own project. They're all group projects, and so many people are involved in their success, and so many people step in and hold. And I say, when I need support, a couple of days ago, I was feeling really, really, really overwhelmed with some grief about just everything in the world, and particularly around the treatment of children. And I have found that since having my own children, my heart is really cracked open.
Yeah.
And I feel like, as James Baldwin said, all the children are ours. And I was reading something terrible about the treatment of children at the Dilley Detention Center, and my heart was breaking. And I called on one of the women who's a little bit older than me, who also organizes in L'Chaim, and I just said, like, I need you to send me a prayer or a grounding and tell me what to do. I just feel so heart sick. And I am at work, and I was just running a meeting, and I started crying. And she did. She called me right back, and she said a prayer, and she told me to go outside and put my feet on the earth. And she prayed while I was grieving. And then she like helped me get it out and helped me be with it. And then I could go back to work, So I'm not doing any of this alone, is my point. Other people are the answer.
How did you learn to let other people in that way?
I don't know. I don't understand how people don't. I'm like, how are you guys all surviving this shit? This is too hard. Oh my God. I've lived with other people before, like in intentional community or co-housing or on farms together. And I like being around other people. And I don't know. I have always had good people around me. Thank you so much, God, Creator. And that's what makes all the difference,
I love it. Is there anything that surprised you about yourself recently?
I'm surprised to be like labeled an activist lately, because I really don't. I feel like I'm just doing like basically following like basic human decency and trying to stand in solidarity so that everybody can have access to it. And that like makes you seen as very edgy for some. And that surprises me, because I'm like, I'm very like, I like to watch Love is Blind. Like I eat chocolate chips in my bed. I'm not like a holier-than-thou kind of person. And like, I'm just out here like, so that surprises me. And also what surprises me is how humbling parenting is. Oh my God. Oh my God. It will really like, however good you feel about yourself at work or something cool you're doing, you come home and your kids are going to just tell it like it really is. So I have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and they are like so sweet and also so fiery. Yeah. And I do see in them more of the 4-year-old who's very small compared to the rest of us, and yet can derail anything you're trying to do. It's like, and I just can't wait until she can actually use her powers to like do powerful direct actions, because she will show you how like a person who's unwilling to comply can basically stop anything.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm like, girl, all I'm trying to do is like put socks on you so you don't get blisters. So like, save this for the man. I am not the man. That is always surprising. Every day I'm like, you get to work and you're like, now the easiest part of my day starts. So, I don't know. It keeps me humble. People who have like 8 children, I do not know how you do it. Power to you.
Yeah. Well, in some ways, I think 3 is a very difficult number, because you have enough kids that they outnumber you, but you have not enough kids to kind of form their own complete pack.
Yeah.
Because like I was one of 5.
Oh, wow.
And in 8 years. Yeah. So we were kind of like...
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
In 8 years.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
I can't imagine.
Wow. I mean, at that point, it's just like herd management, right?
Yeah. So it's a lot less personal. There's a lot less, there's a lot. But
did you like being one of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know any different. Right?
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
I did. I liked having siblings.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So when you are in these groups and you're watching other people take on leadership roles or things, what things do you see that inspire you or that may really feel good to you?
That's such a good question. I shouted out Heidi Wilson before, and she and I have been doing some of these song leader trainings together, trying to build up song leadership. And it's been really interesting to think about, like, how do we break down what makes good song leading? Like, simple, clear. So we have been talking and thinking about that a lot, and it's something that I think all of us who teach songs could think about. Like, what am I doing when I'm song leading? What makes the rhythm clear? What is the right length of chunk to teach of a song? Mm-hmm. It really depends. Like, teaching you and your daughter today, this song, I taught it more quickly and in longer chunks than I would probably do for people who I didn't know if they had any singing experience, that kind of thing. But what I find really inspiring is when people trust the group. That is one thing that is, like, really amazing, is like balancing trying to make an experience simple and clear for everyone while also really believing in the group. And I'll shout out another friend, Ailey, who is a wonderful person. She spent 10 years living in Micronesia, where she was learning how to weight bind, which is where you you sail by the stars using constellations as the guide. And she sailed for months and months and months at a time watching the stars, training with people there. And a lot of the navigation was by song, the memory of where the other islands are, taught by song. And there would be songs about expeditions. So she carries that, and she's lived the last 10 years at the Shelburne Sun Center. And she just has a real discipline of, like, listening and willingness to hold space for spirit and noticing what a group is capable of. And she came to a recent song circle where, again, it's like hundreds of people, not all of whom know each other, share a spiritual tradition or anything. And she's like, I have a poem and I know that the song is in the room somewhere, and I'm gonna read this poem, and then someone will catch the song, and when you catch it, you just stand up and teach us the song. And I, as the song leader, am like, oh my God, what is gonna happen? I'm like feeling so deeply uncomfortable. But I trust Ailey, and Ailey trusts us all to do this. So I'm just like, put on a calm face and sit here. And so she recites the poem that she has in her heart. She recites it twice. And then she just sat down. And it was like being in a Quaker meeting where you just go into silence and someone's waiting on something. And there was this young woman seated on the floor on the first sort of circle. We do everything around. And she was like all smushed in next to somebody. And he started sort of like humming a little tune, this guy next to her, who she wasn't there with. And then she stood up and she said, I was just hearing the song come into my head and you started singing it, this guy next to me, the same tune. So then she taught us, she stands up, she said, my name's Mariah and I'm going to teach everybody the song that I just caught. And she sings us out the song. It's amazing. Comes in 3 parts. Everybody learns it. Everybody sing it. Sounds so good. And just this like wisdom of Ailey and of this woman and of this guy who all collaborate to like bring forth in real time something beautiful was incredible to watch, and required me like sitting on my own hands and trusting the process. So that was a really, really special moment about what can be possible.
That is beautiful.
It was really cool.
That reminds me of one time I was in a vocal improv circle being led by Zusa Gonçalves from Brazil.
Cool.
And he said there were too many people in the room for everybody to get a turn to come into the middle and sing. But his invitation was for people to come into the middle and sing, and then the group around would support them. And he said something, so he had sort of explained what we were going to be doing. And everybody's looking around thinking, oh, there are only going to be like 4 people maybe who do this out of the 50 in the room. And he said, and now I want you to put out of your mind whether or not you are going to go in the middle. You know, maybe some of you have already decided, oh, I'm not a person who steps into the middle or this. Or maybe some of you are like, oh, I have to be in there first so I get my turn, you know, and make sure. He said, I want you to put all of that out of your mind and trust that the music in the room, somebody will be called to be in the middle. And I want you to trust the call and answer the call rather than answer yourself. And it was such a beautiful invitation to set down the concern and a trust that it's there and the right 4 people are going to stand up and do this. And it was beautiful. It was a very powerful experience, I think, for everyone in the room. And because there was less of the, oh, well, I should have stood up. I didn't get a chance to sing. It was more like, oh, the right people
sang the song.
Sang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's so much of it. And when you were asking, like, about the work piece and also, like, how do we all do all the work that we do? I think the more we can, each and all of us, like, tap into that listening of what is my work to do? What is, you know, the song I need to sing, basically. Most of where I show up, it honestly doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like the same feeling that I had about having my 3 children. I felt like a rope pulling me. Like, I need to meet these 3 children who I know I'll have. And that's what I feel like about the work in the world. It's like, I'm gonna show up to where I'm told to go. And I think most of us, if we can clear away the shit, like, how are we, either our feeling of not readiness or our very real material needs, you know, don't get in the way, because it's very, very, very real that we all have to be able to pay our bills. And I think sometimes it feels like those are in conflict or something. But, like, the more we can live lives that allow us to show up how we're being called to show up, like, the easier it feels.
That was fabulous. I have nothing more to say. What have I forgotten to ask? Is there anything I've forgotten to ask that you wish that you were like, I wanted to tell you this and you didn't give me a chance?
I'm wondering if you've already answered on another podcast, what's your earliest memory of a song? Have you answered that? I'm curious to hear about you. What's your...
Yeah, but I'm not being interviewed right now.
Damn. All right.
So we'll save that. Although I will tell you that on a phone call with my family, with my birth family, just last night, my brother said, oh, you guys remember this song? And I had not remembered this song, but as soon as he started singing it, I knew it. Old Mr. Ford had a puncture in his tire. Old Mr. Ford had a puncture in his tire. Old Mr. Ford had a puncture in his tire, and he fixed it with a wad of chewing gum. And then you replace each thing, Old Mr. And you put like a sign of a hat, taking a hat off. Had a in his... And you make a circle for a tire. So you replace everything. Then you get a wad of chewing gum. And you make a motion, like hands out from the lips and back too. Yes. I had completely forgotten that song for like 55 years.
But it's all in there.
But it's all in there, and it came right back as soon as he
started. I love that.
Anyway.
That's so beautiful.
Lightning round questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What's an album that was really important to you?
Indigo Girls. All of them, but I grew up in Atlanta when they were like making new albums all the time, and it was incredible.
Do you know what's wonderful is Una McCann also said Indigo Girls, and she's in Ireland.
Well, they are pretty amazing.
They are pretty amazing. What is your favorite soup?
Soup? Oh, now I'm a soup person. This is really hard, asking me to choose a favorite child. I've been getting into just a good old-fashioned chicken soup. As I get older, I'm turning into a grandma here.
Grandmas are good.
Yeah,
totally. I am totally on board with grandmas. What is a sound that you feel strongly about? Doesn't have to be, could be a good sound or a bad sound. You know, it could be a sound you love or hate. But just one that evokes strong feeling.
The sound of my coffee percolating in the pot in the morning. Heavenly. I fantasize about that when I'm going to bed. I'm like, soon I'm going to make coffee. I hear it bubble up.
Who is an artist that you wish more people listened to or have heard about?
Oh, so many artists I love. Who do I want to talk about? Well, I want to lift up Batya Levine, if they haven't been mentioned on this podcast, because they're doing so much work for singing in the round.
They have been. We have a song of theirs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but keep talking.
Batya facilitates group singing in such a beautiful way and brings down such gorgeous songs and really bridges also a lot of Jewish melodies and nigunim, which are wordless melodies, and also catches contemporary songs. And just the way that Batya facilitates everyone coming in together has been really beautiful to watch. And the way that they have strengthened collective Jewish leadership through the song movement has really revitalized a lot of young people and queer people and Jews of color and people who have felt marginalized or disenfranchised are coming into Judaism again through this singing offering that Batya has had a lot to do with making. So it's really sweet.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It seems appropriate that you've chosen an artist who is so deeply engaged in creating community and in sharing in that way.
Yeah, I think I'm into that. I'm
into that. You're being consistent here.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Before we close, where can people find you and follow your projects if they're interested? And we will put all of these in as show links so that people can find them. But
you can find me on social media. I think you have my Instagram handle. That's one way. Or in real life. You can find me once a month leading a community saying, or at my house. My door is always open. But you can, if you're not here, you can email me, which I think you have my email, or you can find me on Instagram and DM.
A huge thank you to you, Grace, for coming on A Breath of Song, and a heartfelt thank you to you, our listeners. I'm so glad you're singing with us. If you'd like to explore more, you can visit abreathofsong.com for show notes, lyrics, Patty Piotrowski's beautiful artwork. You can sign up to have music, art, and a reflection arrive in your mailbox. A reflection from me. Just to be clear. And if you feel moved to support the podcast, you can add something into the gratitude jar. As a part of that circle of support, 25% of all contributions is donated before Patty or I is paid to the Jazz Foundation of America, which supports jazz, blues, and roots musicians in need. Their artistry has deeply shaped the music that we share here, and this is one small way of giving back.
Thank you so much for having me. What a gift.
Well, let's sing Joanna Colwell's song, Great Turning, again to help it sink in more deeply. Thank you, Rebecca, for coming back to join us. Yay! Okay. Grace, do you want to coach us through?
Sure.
Or should we do it?
Yeah, we're going to layer in the parts again. So we'll all start together on that first part, We Are Turning. And then we'll layer in, I will not fear you. And finally add that diva part. We're all in it together.
Great.
Cool. Here we go.
We are turning, turning. We're part of a great turning. We are turning, turning. We are turning it around. We are turning, turning. We're part of the great turning. We are turning, turning. We're turning it around. We are turning.
I will not fear you. I will not harm you.
We are turning.
I will not fear you. We are turning it around.
And we
We're
are
all in it
turning. We're part of the great
together.
turning. We are turning, turning. We are turning it around.
And
We
we're
are
all in it
We're
together.
part of the great turning.
We are turning, turning.
We are
I will not fear you. I will not harm you.
We are
I will not fear you. We are turning it around. We are turning, turning. We're part of the great turning. We are turning, turning. We're turning it around.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, Rebecca, thank you for adding your voice.
Absolutely. That's a great song.
Thank you. Grace, thank you
for
so much
teaching.
for coming today.
Oh, I'm so delighted to be here.
Thank you, listeners and singers, for joining us for A Breath of Song. I am so grateful that you are taking care of yourself and listening to your voice. I believe making a better world starts with tuning into ourselves and each other, which is what we just did. So, yay us!
Yay us!
If you're liking this podcast, please share with a friend, and next time we'll plant another song. Until then, be well. And that's that.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! I'm going to